What is up, everybody? I'm No Lux Given, back with more modded Demon Bluff, and in this video, we are introducing the Atheist, which is an outcast that adds a fake minion and fake demon to the deck view. It's not actually that tricky to deal with. We don't have all of these demons actually in the game. We only need to find and kill 2 evil characters, so either the Lilis or the Ba, and the Poisoner or the Witch. And the Witch will kind of confirm itself, and the Lilis also confirms itself because we don't actually have it, so I'm not going to worry about what that does just yet either in this video, because we know we only have to find 2 evils. The Lilis creates another evil, so we have a Ba and then either a Poisoner or a Witch, and I can tell you right now which one we have. Let's see. We've got a Poisoner. We also do have definitively an Atheist, because you know when the Atheist is in play because it starts to add things to the deck view. It makes the game a little bit closer to blind mode, similar to the Hypnotist. There's a little bit of mystery around what evils you could potentially have, but in a lot of scenarios it's still going to be solvable based off the other clues that evils will leave. Wretch also cannot be disguised as. I think the Atheist should have that text because it's obvious when they're in play and not, and right now it's obvious that they are in play, which means we do not have a doppelganger. We do not have a shaman. This lover is probably correct. 8 is a real lover, you say? Closest evil counterclockwise? Well, there's 2 jesters here. So either the evil team is 4 plus 5, or it's 3 plus 1. 3 plus 1 is definitely possible. We could check that by activating the cleric right now. Another possibility for the evil team is not 6 plus 8. I think 6 plus 8 is clear. Oh, there's a poisoner somewhere. Ooh, the Poisoner could be right here poisoning the lover to only see 1 evil. I like that a lot. Or the Poisoner could be sat right here flipping the direction of the Enlightened. This could be the Poisoner flipping the Enlightened the other way. There is a chance that... No, these can't both be poisoned. So I'm trying to think if, like, this could be wrong information. I don't see it. I think that this always has right information, because if this was wrong info, that would make this evil, which would also have to make this evil, and then how did this get bad information? So this is good. This is the lover, but it might be corrupted by the Poisoner. Or this is the Poisoner corrupting the Enlightened to look this way. Could be both of these are bad, and this should have learned equidistant. Is there any chance the Enlightened's just wrong? I guess I never considered that, huh? So what if we have an Enlightened that's lying? Part of the issue is we know that a jester is lying. So if the Enlightened is lying, then it would be this jester is evil, this is poisoned, because this is true information. So this would have to be precisely the Ba. I'm curious if the cleric is good or not. I want to just tap the cleric. I'll see if we can figure it out, though, with this jester information. I know that these 3 are good. 2, 6, and 8. What do you think, though, Jester? You think there's 3 evils there? All right, you might be corrupted, buddy. What do you think? You think there's 3 evils, so I think this is actually our world. I think that Jester in seat 5 is a Ba. The Enlightened in seat 4 is the Poisoner poisoning the Jester in seat 3. Let's see. If not, we can use the cleric to heal it back up. Nah, we're just wrong. The words changed as they came out of my mouth. That was really funny. This Enlightened should have learned equidistant, but they did not because they were poisoned by the second evil jester. Okay, I had to slow my roll there a little bit. That was really funny. And now we do have the solve after learning that this was corrupted. I think what I said was, oh. Yeah, no. What I said was reasonably fine. Yeah, because this lover was actually learning good information about the wretch. Everything else was right. The cleric was good. We just needed a little bit of help figuring out where that corruption was. This looks like a pretty normal village. Looks good to me. 4, 5, and 8. There is an outcast, villager, and minion. And we do have 2 outcasts on this board. 4, 1 pair of evil, 5, and 8. Another bishop. And the bishops are pointing at each other, which is impossible. One of these bishops is a liar, but one of them is telling the truth? Well, one of them has to be telling the truth, because we can't have 2 bishops. Could they? Yeah, and they can't both be liars, because then they'd be pointing at each other and clearing each other. I don't know if I've fully explained that, but one of these bishops has to be good with good information, with non-puka poisoned information. Or plague doctor poisoned, or drunk information. One of these bishops is definitively good. Let's flip over 2. Oh, they're both pointing at 5. Wait, they're both pointing at 5, which means 5 is always good. I think. Well, I mean, if this bishop is pointing at a plague doctor, that would have to be, like, pretend this is just like a blank card. Pretend we haven't flipped this up. You find a plague doctor, you go, okay, one of these has to be a minion, and the other one has to be a villager, or the plague doctor's a minion, and the other 2 have an outcast and a... Oh, this could be the drunk... No, but okay, no, that's what I was getting to. If this can't be the minion, because according to each bishop, the other one has to be a minion. And this one is just... This one won. This has to just be a minion. This is probably the counselor. Sat next to the plague doctor here, right? I'm going to stab this bishop right now. That is actually just the minion. Just the minion. But now we know that 4, 8, and 5 are all good. I think I knew that. And we know that there is, well, any of this information could be corrupted, but we know that these characters are good. It's a pretty good start to the board. Half of it is flipped, and most of it is good so far. I have been told in comments to try to Slayer shoot dead evil characters. One of these 2 is evil. Let's use the Dreamer to see what that is. Could be the Counselor. That's wrong. I'm going to see what the fuss is about. Okay, so that's what the fuss is about. This does not cost your Slayer shot. You can do this as many times as you want, and then eventually change your mind. This is corrupted information. We can use the Plague Doctor to check it. You did kill the evil at 3. Good job, Slayer. One of these 2 has to be evil as well. And then they have to be creating a drunk. Okay, well, it could be sat here creating a drunk here. That's possible. Could be sat here creating a drunk here or here. Few possibilities. 1 pair of evil. There's no pair of evil. This is just corrupted information. Not gonna stress about that. Let's actually use it. And we will learn that 3 is evil, 4 is corrupted. Sounds good to me. I think we just have to do wham, bam, bam. We learn that there's 0 evils. Wham, bam, bam. We learn that there are 0 evils. So here we have the counselor and the drunk. I don't believe it's possible to determine which one is which. They would both show up as liars from the judge. They're both claiming the same role. I think we just have to stab, maybe heal ourselves from the cleric, and then stab the other one. I think that's the only way forward from that village, unfortunately. Looks like we've got a fairly normal village here. No modded evil or outcast characters, at least. And no corruption. So let's get stabby on the knight, and a cleric comes out next. The cleric is interesting because it was also in some of that extra randomized modded gameplay that we were looking at. So it doesn't feel like it's a modded character at this point, but it is also a modded character with one of these mod packs. The bard is 2 away from a corrupted character, so they're pointing specifically at seat 5. And seat 5 is saying that the right side is more evil, which, okay, this could be a puppeteer and a puppet. No, because I think that this is probably correct information. I think this bard is trying to get me to doubt it. So I would say puppeteer, puppet is potentially possible. And then for the right side to be more evil, I don't know. I mean, that would mean that the cleric is just evil as well. Could be the puppet, could be the ba. Let's keep flipping, see what we find. Detective. Okay, this is a brand new card. Have not read this one yet. Pick 3 characters, learn how many of each role is there. If they are the only villager. Oh, so a role is the alignment, or like the type of character. I think learn how many of each role is there. Okay, that makes sense. So we're going to pick 3 characters, and we're just going to straight up learn like 1 minion, 1 villager, 1 whatever. Now, I do like this. If it's a lie, it's 3 random roles. Seems pretty similar to the juggler. I could have maybe used the juggler artwork there. That would have been confusing. I like this flipped counselor as a detective. It looks like a detective there, right? 1 is evil between 2, 4, and 6. Well, that is really interesting because, well, no, that's possible. It's just possible. I was trying to think about, because these are evenly spaced and leave room for puppets in different interesting ways. There was a really interesting game that I played of Blood on the Clock Tower where I received the role of a noble on a 7-person village and got information that was every other card, and it was like, I believe, a script with like Marionette and Lord of Typhon and stuff. So it's not quite as solvable, but like this could be the puppet to this puppeteer. Right now I feel like almost everything is possible, and this would then be our doppelganger. So these are both good and not corrupted. We have to have a doppelganger if we don't have a bombardier or a wretch. So 1 is evil between 7, 2, 7, 2, and 3 is what this one says, but I know it's not 7. And then between 2 and 3, only 1 is evil, meaning this cannot contain the puppeteer puppet, which I think means this is always the puppeteer puppet. This is the lying puppeteer. This is the truthful puppet. And between these 2, wait, there are no corrupted characters. Okay. This is actually going to be fairly straightforward to solve then. Does that check out with this Empress's information? 6 is the 1 evil in this Empress's information. 7, 2, and 3. Yes, 3 is the 1 evil in this Empress's information. This is the Ba. This is the puppeteer. And this is the puppet. Not even going to worry about that lying detective. Doppelgangers solved it all for us here. And now we have a Lilis board. I have not had a Lilis board in a minute. And this is a tricky one. Poisoner Counselor Lilis might be the toughest configuration that you can have. Plague Doctor. Yeah, that's going to make it tougher too, especially with like a doppelganger being possible. Closest evil equidistant. Looking at 9-4 potentially. All right, we found the original baker. That could be useful, but nothing else we could do. I might leave 4 and 9 because those are my potential evils. This could be a counselor making a plague doctor. We're going to flip over number 7. Number 7 was an enlightened. This could have been the baker now. The baker chain might just be done here, unfortunately. But with this baker claiming enlightened, it's also reasonably likely that this is corrupted either by poison or potentially by the plague doctor. Let's check that. Let's start here. Number 7, not corrupted, which means this could just be a double claim. And the information does seem wacky. This could be an enlightened. Let's see if another baker flips up. Maybe I should have done that first. We don't get another shot with the plague doctor, so that's a little spooky. Left side is more evil. Maybe you're poisonered. Maybe you are poisonered, or you could be evil, I suppose. That's also possible. We found a baker therapist, so this was probably good, meaning this could be the doppelganger, but it's not corrupted. This plague doctor saying not corrupted does really make me want to trust the plague doctor, so I kind of want to not trust the enlightened. But we're going to have to make a decision pretty quickly here. We find one more baker. Well, I think this is going to allow us to make our decision somewhat. We find another baker therapist. Okay, well, here's what we know. Lilis specifically cannot be a baker because Lilis just has to be a new role. There's too many bakers here. I'm not sure that I trust all of these bakers, especially not all of these baker therapists. But I think I'm going to start by killing the enlightened, which is in a double claim with a baker that was pretty early on in the chain. That's going to be Lilis. Lilis claiming enlightened does still make this seem weird, though, doesn't it? And it's not corrupted information, apparently. Unless this is specifically the plague doctor. Oh gosh, is this solvable? Left side is more evil. I think I'm going to stab the 2 baker therapists. Now, here's something curious. This being good kind of makes me have a little bit of sus on this therapist. And the reason for that is this... Wait, no, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's the opposite. The 2 evils in proximity to Lilis cannot be equidistant. So if this is evil, this cannot be evil. If this is evil, this cannot be evil. But we already know this cannot be evil. So this could be evil. That's kind of what I was going with. Like, it could be both of these baker therapists. I also don't love this baker because of their proximity to an outcast. But what if, like, this is the counselor creating the plague doctor? This is the poisoner poisoning this baker to also double claim therapist. It's a little confusing. And we've got a lot of minions. I don't really know if this is solvable, other than trying to figure out if this architect's information is good or bad and going from there. But we should look at the order in which we flipped the cards and probably persecute in that order. This therapist was flipped over too early. I'm going to kill this baker therapist here. That's the poisoner. So they were poisoning this, which means I don't have to deal with that anymore. And now it means the counselor had to have made a doppelganger. Counselor had to have made a doppelganger, but I will tell you this. The architect is not truthing. So I don't know that any of these were a doppelganger. That is feeling not great to me. but neither is the information that the left side is more evil. So I'm just going to kill into that. That's Plague Doctor corrupted. Okay. I don't know if this is possible. I don't know if this is solvable now, especially after that. We have to find someone that created a doppelganger. I think the only way for this to make sense then is if this was a baker and this is the counselor that created a doppelganger of the baker. I think that this is not the original baker. I think that this is potentially the original doppelganger. Ooh, wait. Slow your roll there, no Lux Given. This has to be good because it would be equidistant for Lilis. Okay. This is corrupted. It could be this is an outcast. It could be this is a bombardier that this counselor created. They're claiming enlightened. We don't have an enlightened. Yeah, it's this. It's this baker because we don't have an enlightened. That was a really, I mean, this, when a baker sneaks in early as an evil, that is really tough to spot. And the only way that you can do it, I think, is by this double claiming of the demon. I was initially thinking this could be corrupted, but it's not corrupted. This was corrupted. And this is the counselor who made a hidden, what was it? A hidden doppelganger. Okay, hidden doppelganger. No clue what that actually was. It was either an architect or a baker. We'll never get to see it, but we will get to see the next village. The streak stays alive. The streak is a little bit confusing because now it's got modded characters in it, and the first 20 were blind mode, right? But we will just continue to have fun here and play the dang game. What do you say? This time we've got a good twin. And good twin's kind of a spicy one. It's like, I mean, it's just like a much crazier doppelganger, really. And like, imagine, oh no, that's right. It's a doppelganger. The doppelganger will never be corruptible because you can only corrupt villagers, which is really interesting. 6 or 5 being a poisoner could be really good information. Let's investigate. Lover, 2 evils adjacent to me. So you could be poisoned. Oh, that's kind of curious. Yeah, putting these next to each other means that these could be just having poisoned information regardless. And then there's a 3rd evil because there's an evil twin out there somewhere. Oh, that means we know there's no drunker plague doctor. We know that this is an evil twin board because there's 3 evils. You're good. Love to see it. Oh, an evil twin confessor. Let's just see that. That would be super easy. No, it looks like the evil twin is either the lover or the poet. You say no evils adjacent to me, but you are getting double claimed. I think this has to be now a poisoner poisoning here. What is the other scenario? This is a poisoner poisoning this, and then this is an evil, but that would have correct information. There's maybe another way around it, but I think that this lover is evil. That is my first impression. 2 cannot be a poisoner, so I'm not worried about the mayor being corrupted. 8 could be a poisoner. Oh, you're telling me 4 is evil, though. I actually don't like what either of these poets are saying. And between these poets and lovers, you know what? We got to slow our roll here a little bit again. Between the poets and lovers, we have 2 evils. But we could have at most 3 pieces of misinformation. Because one of them could be corrupted, but not the good twin. And only one thing can even be corrupted from the poisoner anyways. The mayor feels like it's always good because our potential poisoners, I mean, maybe all of this information is wrong and we could have a poisoner in seat 4 poisoning here. You're telling me 4 is evil. Could be right. And then, oh wait, but can both of the lovers be bad? Yes. Both of the lovers could be bad, but at least one of these has to be the good twin. Okay. I think this is like the final solve of the video here already. Pretty early into this recording session, but this one is going to give us some headache. We could get some information through our dagger, but I think we just have to start like building out these puzzles. Let's say this is good info. This is evil. The only way for this to be incorrect evil information is this is also evil. Poisoning this in that case, making this true. And then this would be the evil twin, telling me that 2 and 8 contains the poisoner. These are just both good people. A good twin, evil twin poet, where they both just get to say completely unhinged things, is pretty wild, but pretty fun. Ba is 2 cards away from closest evil. So this would be Ba, and they would be next to the closest evil, so this would be correctly poisoned information. This checks out. Let's do this. Let's say that this is a potential world. That's world 1, because I just made 1s on everything. And let's clear all of that and see if we can go on the assumption now that this would be the good twin. It cannot be the good twin. This could be good, but this could never be the good twin, because then they're pointing at 2 people. So this can never be the good twin. I could probably make a world where... Wait, how could I make a world where both of these are good? What am I saying? I could make a world where... No, because if this is corrupted... If the poet is corrupted, then it has to be pointing at 2 good people. Right. So what if this is instead the poisoner, and this is poisoned? This would be good. It would have good information. And then we run out of room for evils. I think the first solve might have been the best solve. I think there's no way this is poisoned, right? Okay. What if this is the poisoner? This is corrupted. No, if this is corrupted, this is good. It's pointing, it's directly pointing at the other poet, which makes sense. You have to directly point at the other poet. But this can't be the... Why did I say this one was good again? I don't remember how this one got a good mark on it. I think that was just in solving the last board, right? Yeah, maybe that's what I'm looking for. Oh, maybe that other solve was actually possible. Could this be evil? This be evil? 5 and 6 are good. Oh, wait, no, I wanted to make this good. This evil. 4 is evil, so 4 is good. This is good. Both of the lovers cannot be good. What am I trying to figure out right now? I'm just trying to see if there's another world that I can build. So I started with the idea that this could be the good twin. Apologies, a good twin's a brand new character, really. So I do kind of have to wrap my mind around the logic a little bit. And I think where I should be attacking this puzzle is by trying to find the good twin, right? I found one possible good twin. What I'd like to do is find one other possible good twin and then stab into the overlap of both of their informations to see which world is revealed to be true upon death. So if this is the good twin, this can never be the good twin. That's what I was getting at. So that was a little bit of a blockade. Is there a chance that this is still good, but poisoned? Because, well, this can't be the poisoner. That's kind of the interesting dilemma. I guess it could be the poisoner poisoning here. And this is just good. Wait, yeah, all of this works so far. This would then be good. You're saying no evils adjacent to me. But both of these would then have to be good if the oracle's poisoned. So this being the poisoner doesn't work out. This can never be the poisoner. So this information is always wrong. And having information that is always wrong means you are never the good twin. So I think that's killable. I think that that is a killable offense. Your information is always wrong. There's no drunk. That's the evil twin. This is the good twin, which means that this lever is indeed just evil. You're saying there's no evils adjacent to me, so there has to be an evil adjacent. Plus, they're in a double claim with the demon. Yeah, that's going to be it. Okay, I think I could maybe... No, I should end it there, because I also filmed 10 minutes yesterday. So I think I'll film it there. I think that I potentially was overcomplicating that puzzle by a little bit, because I had to solve... But I just wanted to make sure I understood all of the logic around it, especially when we are working with some new cards that, by the way, if you didn't see the last video, the good twin hits you for 8 health if you kill it and you're wrong. So it's kind of like a bombardier, which is meant to mimic the good twin, evil twin in Blood on the Clock Tower as well. But that is going to be it for me for this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm No Lux Given. Peace.